Yes, I Am. The Rick Weiland Story is my second feature-length documentary. I started making it in 2016, and I naively thought that it would take a year. So after the first couple of years and realizing what a hidden person Rick Weiland was, I kind of had to just throw down the gauntlet of and realizing that this was going to take me much longer to do in a proper way. I also, along the way, questioned: was this a story I could tell in an authentic manner, and is it a story I wanted to tell? But the further I dove into Rick's life, and the more I realized that he played such a pivotal role in uh, gay rights, marriage equality, AIDS, and HIV research, I knew that I had to tell this story, and that the world really needs to know who this person was. Um, Making a documentary, it kind of gets into your bones a little bit, and it becomes a part of you. And everyone that's involved along the way has some stake in the film. So it was a very difficult film to make because of how hidden Rick was, but I feel very proud of the work that I did, and I think that I show Rick a from a very different perspectives of the people that knew him along the way, from his philanthropic work to his personal life to his struggles. It was all ingredients into this film. There was so much research, and I always joke that it was almost like cracking open a cold case, because it just required lots of connections. Like, one person would know something about Rick, and then another person would have sort of the end part of that story. So it was a lot of connective thread and tissue throughout the making of this film. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, which is a pretty medium-sized city just north of Cincinnati, and then kind of bopped all over the United States. I lived in San Francisco. I lived in Atlanta for 4 years, and then ended up settling down in Seattle, Washington. I love Seattle. I still love Seattle. It has a very strong queer community. I made my first feature length documentary, Finding Kim, from 2013, actually no, 2012 to 2016, and got to premiere at the Seattle International Film Fest. All the while I was working a full-time corporate job, doing commercial work mainly. But through my first documentary feature, I realized that this is something that I wanted to do full time, and I was going to do everything in my power to make that happen. It hasn't been an easy road by any stretch, but I'm incredibly grateful and proud of the work that I've done so far, especially my queer centric work. I'm myself a queer man, and I really value having a voice, especially at festivals that are queer centric. So I really have to hand it to places like Image Nation Montreal that support queer film and queer filmmakers. Some of the more exciting things that happened during the production of this film was finding Rick Weiland's journals in an archive at Stanford University. From there, I had to digitize a daily journal that dated back from to 1975 all the way up into his death in 2006. And then I had the monumental task of reading all of the journals. Along the way, I also got the opportunity to work with some of my queer heroes, Fenton Bailey and Randy Barbado at World of Wonder. I ended up having a chance to work with Zachary Quinto, who narrates the film, and Rick's diaries. So all of those things informed a lot of my creative process and how I tackled it. I'm an incredibly empathetic person, and sometimes to a fault. But I think when you make a documentary, no matter what the subject matter is, you have to be. So I'm still so over the moon about being able to tell Rick's story in the way that I did, and even in the time frame that I did. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I always say that the essence of this film is death is not the end. And Rick's life has affected me as not only as a filmmaker, but also as a human being. I also started my own mental health journey along the way. And it's really changed how I carry myself in this life as a human being and also how I treat other people. So I hope that Rick's life and legacy and the things that he gave to the queer community will shine forever. So I really hope you enjoy the film. The reception of Yes, I Am the Rick Weiland Story has been incredible. When you make a movie, especially a documentary film, you hope that it resonates with an audience. And this film not only resonates with queer audiences, but it also resonates with very straight audiences. And it's played a large handful of quote unquote like straight film festivals. And even after every single showing, there is someone who is either new of Rick or has been personally affected by Rick, or just watching the film has affected them in a way.